Okay, this is going to be the optional hard wiring for any of the wind restrictor products, with the exception of the Mercedes SLK R171. This is basically going to be how to wire a wind restrictor to come on with your running lights or with your brake lights. If you have any of the lighting accessories or modules, please refer to the specific videos that go over those items. You will need to refer to the model-specific instructions that come with every order in order to find your wiring harness that is going to be in different locations for all cars. Okay, with every standard order you will find a wind restrictor with two wires coming off, a positive and a negative. If your wind restrictor has a pair of black wires as opposed to red and black, you'll want to look for the side with the writing on it. It will be very small and hard to read, but if in the proper lighting, you should be able to distinguish the wire with the indented writing on it. That is the positive. Normally the negative is stripped on the end. So after you've installed the wind restrictor, you'll want to run these wires under the panel or behind the carpet, wherever it tells you in the model-specific instructions, normally to the car's wiring harness. That will look something like that. Once you locate the wiring harness that contains the brake lamp and headlamp power, noted in the model-specific instructions, you want to get one of these vampire clamps to tap the positive wire into the power source. When you locate the wiring harness, you're usually going to need to cut back a covering or electrical tape that is wrapped around all the wires. You can use scissors or a knife, just be careful not to actually cut into the wires as you're removing the covering. On some models there is no covering. You will not have to cut back any electrical tape. The wires will simply be connected to a plug where you can tap into them there. You may need to spread the harness open a bit so that you can see all the wires contained inside of the covering. You will need to identify the wire containing the headlights or brake light power as described in the model-specific installation instructions. Once you've found the running light wire or brake lamp wire and have decided which one you want to utilize, take out your vampire clamp and connect the positive wire from the windscreen to that wire of your choice. Now these clips are very simple to use. You will need a pair of pliers. Now there's two channels inside of these clamps. One of them has a stop on the back side so that if you pushed a wire through, it would not go all the way through. On the other side there is no stop, so that the wire can be slid in from the side and go all the way through. What you're going to want to do is put the positive wire through the side with the stop in it, so that you push it all the way through past the metal and it'll stop at that plastic piece. Once you put this positive wire into that channel and push it all the way through to the stop, you're going to want to take the power wire and the harness that you chose and slide it into the side of this clamp. Make sure that it goes all the way through into the center of that channel, so that when you use the pliers to clamp it down, the metal will bite into both wires at once. Here's an additional illustration for you. So take the power wire, stick it into one side of the clamp, the side that has the stop, push it all the way through until it stops at that plastic piece. Take the other side, the open side of the clamp, and clamp it over the power wire that you choose, either the running lights or the brake lights. You'll want to stuff that wire in the side just like this. Then you'll take the pliers and compress this metal thing to where it bites into both of those wires at the same time and fold the clip over. It's very important to note at this point that the vampire clamp is very critical to the installation of the wind restrictor. If you do not get a very good connection between the power wire and the positive wire of the windscreen, your product will not illuminate. If you have to do troubleshooting with the installation because of it not lighting up, this is probably the first thing you're going to want to check. More than likely, the metal part of the vampire clamp did not bite into both of the wires with a good enough connection to produce illumination. After you've installed the power wire, it's time to ground the product. So take the negative or the black wire from the wind restrictor and attach it to the ground source on the chassis. Now the grounding points are going to be different for all vehicles, just like the wiring locations, so please refer to the model-specific directions that came with your wind restrictor in the box to find out where you ground the black wire. Equally as important as having the power source tapped in good, you do need to make sure that the ground is very solid. If the ground is not connected very well, you will not produce illumination to the product. Okay, you're now ready to test the product to make sure it illuminates. Make sure you're in a shaded area or a garage, not in direct sunlight, so that you can see the LED bulbs good. If it does not work immediately, simply turn on your headlights or make sure that your car is running while you're testing it. Also, if you're checking for brake lights, make sure your car is running as well, because your brake lights do not work unless your car is started. If you're still not getting illumination, remember, check the clamp and recheck the clamp. Undo it, reclamp it if you need to. Sometimes we have to reinstall those clamps as many as 3 or 4 times before it gets a good enough connection inside there, and also check the ground. Again, if you have any of the accessories such as the brake lamp module, extreme lighting kit, dimmer control module, or on-off switch, you will need to refer to the other videos that contain those specific items. Good luck installing your wind restrictor. If you feel you need additional assistance or need help troubleshooting at all, please don't hesitate to email us at the following address: sales@windrestrictdoor.com.